Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Community. I've got Maria here. Hi, Maria.
Hey.
Maria's in Mexico, so she's mic-less.
Woohoo. I did try to bring a mic here. I'm just having technical difficulties with it, but I'm thriving.
Yeah, you are thriving, which is all that matters. And we are here to chat about high vibe women. One of the things that we are not so good at is doing recap episodes of like when like things happen. And like prior to this, I was like, I think this is going to be so good that we're going to want to like talk about it. So I booked this in like months in advance. And I'm glad I did because we had such an incredible weekend. There's just so much to talk about. And yeah, so I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so glad you booked this too because for like days after the event, I was still like buzzing. There was so much good energy. It was so incredible. And just watching the impact it had on the women that attended was just so humbling and heartwarming and beautiful. So I'm happy we can bring the podcast listeners in for a little taste of that.
What would you say if thinking about it? Okay, so we spend like months and months planning this. Like, just so you guys know, typically when we sell an event, we're already having the next one planned. So, like basically have like most of the bones of this next one planned, and then we're kind of ready to go, which is amazing. Um, so it's always so funny because people message and they're like, "How can I contribute to this next event?" And I'm like, "Not sure," because we're already deep in. But what would you say like in the planning process is your favorite part? Like as we prep for High Vibe Women.
Okay, love this. First, should we give like maybe a little background on High Five Women? Just
Yeah,
so your
let's do it.
listeners
Go
know.
ahead.
Okay. So High Five Women is started out as like a branch of the Social Snippet and has now become its total own entity because it's taken on a life of its own and is absolutely incredible. But anyway, started with us just inviting a few of our entrepreneurial girlfriends to a lunch where we just kind of chatted about business, chatted about roadblocks, what we were going through, and this lunch went on for like 5 hours and we could not get these women out of this room because it was just so impactful, and the time they got with each other just being around other women who were like-minded and wanted to support and help each other was just so powerful. So that has sort of spiraled out of control into now we're running like 200-person events that are basically full day conferences, where we bring in awesome speakers, really cool vendors. We have like so many cool little like activations and door prizes and the chill space with Jeanette and so many fun pieces to the full day events. But it's been a really fun journey over the last couple of years, kind of building it from that one lunch with 12 people to running these events with multiple hundreds of people, and 2 day, which was a ton of work. I don't know that we'll do 2 day again, but it's been super fun. So that's kind of the background on High Vibe. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. Like for us, I think a big piece of it is that we did like so much networking and we were like, going to the US all the time. And then we were like, why isn't anything like this at home? Like, why aren't there things like this here? And I know they're starting to pop up and like a lot of our friends are running events, which is awesome. And like literally no competition here. Like we're like, I don't know. We used to always joke. We're like, if someone else does this, we'll stop. Like we just like, we'll stop. But now I don't think we will. But it's just been so cool to see how much it expands every time. And I think it was such a good learning lesson doing it for a day and a half and us being like, that was a lot. Like a lot for 140 women to be like us emotionally on. We had like a VIP dinner, we had like a reception, like kind of party thing, and it was just like a lot. But so our next one will be just a day with a VIP evening in advance. But so great. Like it's been so great to see so many repeat faces. Like that's always the thing that always strikes me is like how many people come every time and like, or if they can't come, they're like, I'm so sad to miss it. Like I can't believe that I'm missing it kind of thing. Um, and then also like just like how much impact there is from it, like seeing how many people are just like so obsessed with the community and they like love the people. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see who the people are that come
Mhm.
and how little it actually is about us and how much
Yeah.
it is about everyone else in the room. And even with the speakers, like the speakers are awesome. They provide really great value. Everyone loves them. But I think at the end of the day, it's about the people that are sitting next to you in the chairs. And that's like how we grew our business. And that's just so powerful. So it's really cool. I love that piece of it, that it's not like they're coming for us. They're actually coming for each other. And we're just creating the space for that. And that it's just works beautifully with my MO and the way I want to show up as a leader. So I love that. And to actually answer your question that I totally went on a tangent from, I think my favorite part of the planning process is just like the possibility. Like it's so
Yeah.
fun. It's there's so much we can do, and we really get to create whatever we want. So just coming together with you and like brainstorming the crazy ideas you have, and like the people we know that would be really awesome. And it just feels like when we're planning them, there's like, the problem we always have is there's too many amazing things that we could fit into
Totally.
this day. Like there's too many great speakers, and there's too many great activations, and there, even with like the signs and the, spoiler alert, potential future flower wall, things like that. Like there's just so much fun and cool stuff that like our problem with planning them is narrowing down the fun and cool stuff to fit it in the day.
Yes. Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard because even like whenever we like plan these events, it's like we always think about like what would be the most impactful like for the women. Like when we're sitting there, it's not like, oh, like how do we make like the most amount of money doing this or like anything like that. It's like how do we actually like give back as much as possible? And how do we actually see transformation for so many of these women where we know like seeing that room, like even this week, like there were people in there who were like 7-figure entrepreneurs running like massive businesses. There were people there who were like just getting started, a month in business, and they'd invested in themselves. And like those people are at the same table and they're like talking about things and they're sharing insights and growth and making intros for each other. And even I was laughing while I was there because this one woman had like a bunch of connections to the media, and she was like, I have all these connections to the media, and well, I knew that there's like another high vibe woman who that's like a huge goal of hers is to be on breakfast television. Not a goal for me, but love that for her. And I was like, you two need to meet. And then the girl was like, yeah, it's done, like we're gonna get you on TV. Like it was so great, right? And so I think like that is the power of being in the room, and we've benefited from it so much, like growing our business. But at the same time, being able to create that space is like the highest honor because like we get to actually see the conversations facilitate. And like the thing that I find funny is like you and I are both kind of the same way here, where we're like, this isn't really about us at all. And there were so many people in the room who like did not know who we were, and like we're not like eager to like, you know, like I found it funny at the end when people want to take photos with us because I think you and I are both like we're just like chicken nuggets in an air fryer, like hanging out. Like we're a little like it's just so funny. But like people were like lined up to take photos with us, and I was like, this is just not the stage I'm at. Like this is not, people do not take photos. Like you don't need to do it, but it's just so sweet. Yeah, I laugh.
I know, we were laughing in the elevator after because we're like, you guys made us really feel like Jay-Z and Beyonce in that moment when there was a line to take pictures with us,
Crazy,
which is
yeah.
so sweet. But I think the sentiment that we always hear from them too is like they love the people we attract and the rooms we create. And it still feels like it's not about us, which I also love. So I'm just happy we have the opportunity and the network and community to be able to do this and
Yeah.
create those spaces and have people come and have them enjoy it and have a good time. And
Yeah.
maybe to do a little bit of like recap style, maybe we can talk about like what happens at these full day experiences, or do you
Yeah.
want to go, maybe more in depth about this one in particular, what happened, or what do you
Well,
think?
why don't we kind of do a bit of both where like we can talk about like kind of this one in particular and then, talk about anything more broadly because the thing that's really cool about each one is they're different. And I always kind of like laugh at this and so does Maria because it always happens where people speak and then immediately after they message and they're like, can I do it again? And we're like, no, we can't run the same event twice. Like we can't have all the same people, right? But it's just like, it's again, such an honor that people want to like be a part of it like more than one time. But yeah, so basically like the day and a half experience was amazing. Like for us, it was last weekend in Guelph, but by the time this aired, it's been a few weeks. And we had a lot of intentionality behind it, whether that be, the VIP or the general admission. I will always say this: if you go to an event, if you are in the financial position to pay for a VIP ticket, I encourage people to do it. That being said, our VIP tickets sold out in 3 days, so the GA ticket's going to do you just fine. But if you can, it's a great opportunity to connect with people and have a little bit more of an intimate experience. But yeah, we had some amazing speakers kind of come from all over to really kind of like bless us and like give us like amazing insights. I don't want to name too many of the speakers because I do think that I'm gonna miss like some really key ones, but it was just really cool to see like so many of our friends like really pour into people, and like that's such a great way for them to grow their business and their impact too, like them being able to talk about like what they're doing. But yeah, it was so well received. Like the people were like the speakers had such a great time. So many of them have bought tickets for the next one. But also like the audience I think really got a lot from all the different types of speakers.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I've enjoyed is like the variety of speakers that we've enlisted, I don't know, brought in. And I think this is true for this past event, but also all of our events and probably all of our future events, at least the October one we're planning, where we always try to have a mix of some keynote speakers, some panels, and at least one more interactive kind of workshop networking activity type speaker
Yeah.
facilitator. And I think it's cool because when you go to a conference and like every single person's a keynote, it just kind of feels like you're getting talked at a lot,
Yeah.
and it's very like prepared, it's very contrived, which has its own benefits, right? Like that's also great in some ways because they add so much value.
Yeah.
But then it just is really cool to watch. Like then the panels are just more conversational and flowy, and some people love the panels way more than they love the keynotes. And some people love the keynotes way more. And it's just interesting, different things resonating with different people. I personally
Totally.
love the panels because you get to hear from so many different people and
Mhm.
get those like different perspectives to sometimes the same question. And then the networking activities are just so fun. Like those are like one of the highlights for sure.
And the networking activities, always, every time we do that, we give full trust to the facilitator. And like, we're always kind of like, do your best, but we want the women to meet each other, but like, do it in your style. And everyone always does it a little differently, where it's like, maybe there's movement involved, or like Inbal is act like, so like Andrea's had like some dancing and it was like really fun. And then, but Inbal did like, or I thought a really good job of getting people to like open up. And it was funny because Inbal wasn't there for the second day, but I like texted her and I was like, the amount of times people use the word quad pod, like after that was just so funny, because it really latched for people of them needing that community. And so that was really like, I think it's really heartwarming to see people network in that way, because you literally never know who you're sitting beside, who knows someone or something that you need, when especially when you need it.
Yeah, it was so funny. Andrea and I were dying laughing as she was trying to facilitate this. Like, at no point could she get people to stop talking to each other. Like,
Yes.
she'd be like, okay, ladies, in like 1 minute, we're moving on to the next person, and like, we're going to start dancing or whatever. And then, like, the minute would come and she would be like after them, and they were just not interested in separating
Yeah.
from each other. And I'm like, it was just so sweet because they just love each other so much. They love connecting. The room gets so loud because they're all like so invested in building
Yeah.
those connections and relationships, and that's what we want, right? Like, so I was just laughing with Andrea. I'm like, sorry, dude, like, but this is what we wanted. Them,
Yeah.
connecting and engaging with each other and having a good time. And I love the like more structured networking activities because I think it's kind of intimidating sometimes when you come into an event, especially if you're introverted or shy or new in business or whatever it might be, and you're kind of just go up to someone like, "Hi, you know,
Yes.
I do social media. Like, can I help you with something?" Like, it's just like, I don't know, it's sometimes awkward. So having it be a more facilitated experience has been really cool.
Yeah, no, I love that. That point's so good because I think, one of the things that we could do is we could literally just rent the space and have them talk to each other all day and it would be like totally fine.
Yeah.
But I think there's just so many ways for everybody to like, learn from the speakers and learn from each other and like have so many conversations. So it's always that balance of like, like I went on stage and someone was like, why don't you do the silent coyote? And I'm like, because these women are like older, like, we're not children over here. Like, but it's so sweet that like everyone loves to talk to each other. And one of the things I find really endearing about the room is the fact that we've been to a lot of events. So Maria and I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars going to events. Um, we've never done the math, and we never will. We're never going to do it because we don't want to know. One time, a CFO we worked with tried to get us to do the math, and we were like, "Thank you so much for your suggestion." But what I will say is that um, something that is not that common at events, that is very common at our event, is that the speakers like hang.
Yeah.
They're there for the day. They usually come to the VIP. They're like part of the day. And there were so many times where I saw the speakers like, sitting outside talking to someone, coaching someone, giving people insights. I even think about Mallory, like Mallory talks about this all the time, being like neurodivergent and like, so these can be like really like stressful or overwhelming from a sensory perspective. But she spent so much time like pouring into people one on one. Like it was just so great to see how, yeah, how incredible it was. Just like how I think people really resonated with people, and then they were able to build those connections.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. It's so cool. And watching the speakers get so much from the event is really cool too, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people look up to them. Wow, they're so far ahead and they've done so much and all this stuff. But the speaker, like, you can learn something from everybody. So the speakers are also
Totally.
learning things from people who are on day one of their business or day zero, or they have an idea, right? Like, there's still something they can take and learn from that. So it's really cool to watch them get poured into as well.
Yeah.
And like the affirmation they get, like the women, even I went on social like the day after our event and somebody had shared a quote and I was like, oh, that sounds familiar. And then I like read through the caption and comments and it was a quote that Mallory had put
Mm,
in her talk. And it's just so cool to witness that impact. And then that participant is going sharing that message. And then it had like 100 likes or whatever. And all these other women are resonating with that message
yes.
that he's sharing. So it's just such a cool ripple effect. And to your point of we could just put them all in a room and have them talk for the entire day, totally. And if that sounds like your jam, you should come to one of our brunches or dinners because that is basically what happens. It's a little more facilitated, like we help you a little bit. It's not so awkward, but it is basically just come and network and chat. So we have that covered too, just on a smaller scale.
No, I love it. If you're not on the High Vibe Women email list, get on it. Just because that's where you hear about all our like activities and things that go on. The other thing I just like want to note too. So speakers were amazing. The women were amazing. The conversations were amazing. Like seeing like even like I got an email today from somebody and they were like, "Hey, obsessed with High Vibe Women, wondering if I can sponsor." I'm like, "Yes, like of course." Like, so great. But I also am like such a fan of like how much we're evolving the like decorating and the content opportunities that people have there too, like Ben on our team came up with turning limits into launch pads, and then I saw someone use that as a caption. And so sweet.
So
So that was,
sweet.
I know I should actually tell him. I don't think I even told him that, so that was great.
We put it
um
on a banner too for clarification.
Yes, it's on a banner. Yeah, yeah. Now we own our backdrop, like for our stage. We have the 360 photo booth that we also own and rent. But like just like I think like we're evolving kind of like and it's kind of growing over time, which is amazing.
Yeah. And another really cool element that we brought into this past event was a DJ, which I thought was
Yeah.
so fun. It really elevated the vibe.
Yeah, totally. And I think it was like what was really cool about DJ Ray, like, was that we were laughing because I cannot say DJ Ray like a normal person. I always have to sound like I'm from Miami. I'm like DJ Ray, like it just comes over me. So I did it right this time. But DJ Ray did such a good job of like bringing those beats and like bringing like the fun and joy and like all of that, but also like. It was so cool to support a woman-owned business doing that. And that's something that's really important to us as well, is like the partnerships that we have with everybody are like very curated and very like win-win. So even the photographers we work with, like really like everybody, we try to make it super, super easy and curated so that they're really happy with the outcome and the collaboration as well.
Yeah. And I think we're only missing one kind of element, which is the vendors,
Yeah.
which when we initially had this idea for vendors, I kind of thought like, oh, maybe people will like buy a couple things and it'll be really nice for us to support these like local female founded businesses and like, and then now it's like the vendors are like actually a huge part of the experience. Like even DJ Ray left saying she's going to write a book because one
Yeah.
of our vendors like helps people write books, right? So it's like the impact the vendors even have is so cool to see, and they also get so much from the participants. And what I loved about the way we did it this time was they were really like in the room with the participants on
Yeah.
the ground, so they actually got to witness the event as well and hear from the speakers and really be a part of the full experience.
Yeah, like even at one point, like we had breakout rooms, and that's a new thing that we did this year as well. Breakout rooms and live podcast rooms, which were really cool. Like I think really cool that people got to choose their own adventure and see like what worked for them. But it was just funny. Like at one point there was breakout rooms and I was like, where are the vendors? Like, and they were all in the breakout rooms, like, so it was so good. And there was like breakout rooms in particular for product-based businesses. And so we were able to like really like serve, I think, lots of different audiences. And I love the vendor thing too. And I think there's lots of different people that could be vendors. Like it's not just product-based businesses, but like it was really cool. Like Bridget came from Got Personal and she did like a mocktail bar and like people were able to go up and get little like drinks and stuff, and people were selling like their goods, and yeah, there just was like so much good stuff happening. I'm always just so amazed by how impressive it is, like, and how excited everyone is to like kind of show up and support these people.
Mhm.
And we have like, yeah, we're already, I think we're like 3 or 4 days out of High Vibe Women, and we're already confirmed a number of the vendor spots, and like repeat vendors, and then people who haven't done it before who were like, I'm waiting for my opportunity. But yeah, it's so cool. And I think just if anyone's ever listening to this and you're like, oh, that's something I'd be really interested in, if you're interested in doing this, reach out to event hosts and talk to them about it, because sometimes this stuff happens earlier than you think. So we had people reach out to us like a month or two before the event, and our vendors were solidified like, 5 or 6 months in advance. So we'd love to have more vendors like it, but we also don't want to dilute the experience for the ones we have. And so but yeah, no, I love the vendor aspect of it. And it's been like, we support these people, like where we'll go and we'll buy, like we've had Maven Shea be with us before, and they're a slipper company, and like we own a pair of them, both of us. They're our office shoes, and we I got personal. I bought a whole bunch of green mix from them. Like there's just so many cool things that we get to do.
I love it. It's so fun.
So
And speaking of which,
yes.
should we share a few details about our next adventure?
Yes. So we're so excited because, as many of you know from listening to this, I'm having a baby. And so we were on the fence about whether or not we would not continue High Vibe Women, but we would continue it in a different season, maybe like in the new year or whatever. But honestly, we cannot give it up. Like we just love it so much. I might be there with a child strapped to me. And High Vibe Man. But but we're just so excited and grateful because we're going to be doing this again, and our goal is up to 200 women. We had 140 this time. We're already probably close to 70 tickets sold, and we are day 4. So I'm feeling okay about the 200, but also if these 70 women are the only people that come, it's gonna be great too. And we're just so lucky. But we will be doing this on October 17th and 18th at the Royal Botanical Gardens. Those are the dates, right?
Yeah, the only thing is October 17th is the VIP exclusive dinner and the VIP tickets are sold out. So for you guys listening, if you want to come, it'll be October 18th.
But this is a good lesson. Can I say this is a good lesson? Because we cultivate a wait list early. Always cultivate a wait list early. And at the event, we said, guys, the VIP tickets always sell out. They've never sold out this quick, but they always sell out. And everyone was like, sounds good, Kristina and Maria. And then now our DMs are inundated with people who have not gotten the VIP ticket and want a VIP ticket, but we don't have any more space. And we keep it intentionally small for a few reasons. One, you get an elevated swag bag, which we didn't even talk about the swag bags. This has been like a labor of love from our team. We're just so grateful to Serena and Ben for all of their reach outs and their connections, and but the impact it makes on those businesses. Like even today, I saw somebody posted their Polar Joe coffee. We're loving there's like so many good things. I have like half the stuff next to me like all the time, so it's like so great. But you get an elevated swag bag. You're invited to the VIP dinner. You get upgraded seating so you sit with the speakers. So it's a great opportunity, but if you want to, you should get on it right away. So when we do this next October, and we're gonna probably sell another event after that, please buy your ticket. And we always allow payment plans, so email us. But this is a good lesson, I think.
Keep an eye out and follow us at HaveVibe.women and subscribe to our email list, which you can do on our website.
Yes, because it breaks my heart to tell people no.
I know. Kristina feels so bad, guys. She's like, there are people that want VIP tickets. I'm like, well, they had their chance.
I know. The other day I was like, I could just go on the website and just add another 5. No one would notice. And I was like, no. So anyway, October 18th will be the day, and it's at the Royal Botanical Gardens in Burlington. We love Burlington, such an expansive space by the water. If for those of you who don't live locally, we already have a number of people coming from the US and from Canada and all over, which is amazing. But it's going to be a really amazing day. And what we really heard from folks this time is that, prioritizing a lot of Canadian speakers. So we're excited about that. We have got some amazing speakers, whether that be about talking about manifestation of money, whether that be talking about personal brand. We have an epic personal brand speaker. We've had someone who might come talk about AI. We've got so many things brewing, as well as networking activities. We've got vendors already, a lot of them confirmed. It's going to be an amazing panel that's going to be about building your legacy. There's just so much good stuff happening. And we'll be announcing speakers probably in the next few months. So you'll see once our schedule is 100% confirmed, we start to announce the speakers. But definitely worth kind of getting in on. What did I miss?
I think you did a pretty good job. The one thing I would say is I've heard a lot of people say that they hear about these events online and they're quote unquote not far enough in business
Mhm.
yet to come to these events. There's no such thing. Like you can come to here with a dream. You don't
Yeah.
need a business, you know? And the speakers, of course, are geared towards you having a business, but like
Yeah.
anyone is welcome as long as you're high vibe and you're a woman. And it's really honestly, you can't be too early or too late or
Yeah.
whatever stage in business you're at, you're welcome to join. And the whole
Yeah.
point is inspiring each other, empowering each other, learning from each other, helping each other grow. So even if you just have an idea and you need, you want a little, as in would say, quad pod of people you can go to, chat about your idea or how you're going to bring it to life or whatever. Like, I just want to put this out there. There's no person who is like not far enough in business to come to our events. We
Yeah.
want everybody. Like I said, our requirements are that you're high vibe and you're a woman. So you have a positive attitude. You're here to connect and serve others and
Mhm.
lift each other up, and you value community over competition. If you align with those ideas and values, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, big time that. And honestly, I just want to encourage you that if you're nervous, it's probably the right space. Because like sometimes those are the rooms that we feel like the most like fearful about. And we're so like really one of our values in this is like making it something that's pretty cost affordable for people, that people are able to attend and have a wonderful time. So we're so excited. We will leave the details for the event in our show notes as well with a code for just you listeners of the community podcast. You can use the code podcast for $50 off your ticket. And I am so thrilled about this because I think, there's not a lot of discounts floating around. We're pretty tight on this right now, especially because so many people bought in the early bird, which is amazing. But we're just like so excited to continue to serve women, to bring women together, and there's going to be a lot more to come from us. So whether that means high vibe women in your city, maybe it'll be one of our retreats that we do with Jeanette. There's so many potential opportunities for you to join us, and so just stick close to the community because I think this is where a lot of the magic happens.
Yay. Can't wait to meet you ladies at the event.
Amazing. Okay, Mar, thanks so much for being here. I know you're in Mexico, so I appreciate you making the time. And we love High Vibe Women. It's like literally Maria is like always about to shut the social snippet down. I'm like, listen, that's what pays our bills. But she's always about to like put the chain on the door. But we're just so grateful to everyone who's worked on the event, who's come to event. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us in March. And we're just so excited about what's to come for High Vibe Women and for all of you. And it's not about us. It's about you guys making connections and growing your businesses and growing your livelihoods and legacies. So we love you. Thanks so much for listening. Chat soon.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to Community with me, Kristina Bartold, and I'm just so excited to continue the conversations. If you're looking to grow your community and learn more about social, join us at thesocialbusinessclub.ca and use the code podcast to get your first month for $1. Share this episode with your friends and on social, or leave a review. It means the world.